early stage investment is a very different ball game as mature startups that you see. Every business model is important, but we have to see from the lens of where we can get 10x. We also like to see that how each and every founder who comes to us, how we can give them a customized solution in terms of even identifying the right founder and the funder and the right co-founder for them. If you are using money to expand your product range or to develop a product, and if you don't have a regulatory understanding, then somewhere you will get stuck.
Welcome to TICE. Today in this conversation, I have with me Dr. Vishal Gandhi, founder and CEO of BIORx Ventures. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, TICE, for the opportunity.
So, in this conversation, I would like to know from you as an investor, what really goes into your mind when you go out and invest in a startup?
So I think early stage investment is a very different ball game as mature startups that you see. So in early stage startups, what we see is the founder's passion, founder's domain expertise, the market that, how large is the market that founder is trying to sort of capitalize on and work upon. Then, of course, the founding team is important because sometimes, founder may be a solo founder, but what kind of team that they have at line. And fourth could be like, what kind of advisors, mentors they've associated with. And of course, their robustness about the plan, whatever business plan they've submit, how well they are able to defend it. So I think these are broadly 4-5 points that we look at, and basis that we do deep dive, and then we get into a process of due diligence and where we would do commercial, sectorial, legal, financial. But I think for us, commercial due diligence is a very important aspect, because other due diligences probably do not make sense, because startups sometimes which approaches us is a pre-revenue startup. So there's definitely not much you can actually evaluate from a financial perspective. But I think the founder's ability to be able to give us a confidence that he knows how to scale the business. I think that's what, if we can get the pulse in next like 2-3 minutes, I think then definitely there is a game. Otherwise, definitely, we reject a lot of startups, not because they are not good or they're not solving the right problem, but the question is that we don't see our returns coming from them because the scale at which they would like to operate or the scale at which it is available may not create value for us.
So, if I, see your portfolio, it's pretty vast. You have invested in more than 30 startups so far. So, what is the trend that you see among startups, especially those in the early stage?
So the trend is that startup journey is the most difficult journey. While we remain very optimistic that this will happen, that will happen, but I think it's a journey of crest and trough, journey of upward and downward. But then how the founder is able to sort of consolidate his thoughts and pivot basis the market feedback and then move towards product market fit is the key. And I think utilization of those money that has been raised in a very most effective manner is the key. And I think founders' flexibility, being able to garner the right team is a very crucial aspect to ensure that each and every rupee spent is creating long-term value. And I think if we can see that happening, definitely there's enough money that can happen in the follow-on round from the existing investors, or we can perhaps use our network of VCs and family offices and institutional investors who are really looking at us as from a perspective of governance, because when we come in, we bring in all those governance principles which are very important for any investor to see. And I think we work like a more of a venture accelerator, venture builder. And this is where, we believe that anything in early stage investment ecosystem is about co-investment. It's not about solo investment. And I think we have really partnered with good number of people. And we also like to see that how, each and every founder who comes to us, how we can give them a customized solution in terms of even identifying the right founder and the funder and the right co-founder for them, because there are times where there are gaps in the whole evaluation, but it's not about just telling them that there are gaps, but how to go about solving those gaps alongside with them, I think is what I feel is our value proposition through which we have been able to garner 40+ portfolio companies. Some of these companies we have invested, some of these companies we have accelerated. The idea is that how we remain their point of contact when they want to think scale, and when they think scale, they should think about BIORx.
So if we look at your portfolio, healthcare is a major focus. So what kind of innovations do you have in your portfolio
It's
within
a
healthcare?
very good question. So we have to see the disruption, because normally whatever you see as incremental is not going to give us returns. So while every business model is important, but we have to see from the lens of where we can get 10x, right? So I think from that perspective, we see AI in healthcare is very interesting. As we speak, we will be announcing deal tomorrow. So this is one of our venture built company. We have supported them for 8 years, and yesterday only we have closed a deal. We have invested about 2 CR, and they are really solving a problem of primary healthcare screening through AI, which means that the access to healthcare for people which didn't have the access, now by advent of AI, they can actually get the screening done, and that creates a lot of value in terms of early detection. And as the early detection happens, the early management will start, and the overall healthcare burden for the private sector or public sector will reduce. So this is what we are I would say very passionate about. Second, what we are about to commit again, in next 2-3 days, you will see a news about robotic surgeries, right? So we feel that today, young surgeons may not have an expertise, but how do we use technology to provide that proficiency in order to deliver healthcare services at par excellence through robotic approach is what we are very excited about. So this particular company is into robotics, and they are addressing a problem of GI, gastrointestinal, and we are seeing a lot of traction in this area. People are addressing neurosurgeries, people are doing other kinds of surgeries. So you will have specific robots for specific organ, and we are very happy to sort of work alongside with the founder to help him accelerate his journey. And this is what we are again very excited about, medical robotics. Third could be pieces like biotech. We feel that traditional companies have not been able to kind of create that disruption, and we think deep tech startups like biotech, genomics, basically are the future. And we are talking of precision therapeutics, we are talking of personalized therapeutics. So I think if we have to move towards that area, genomics will play a role, metabolomics will play a role, and we are really looking at entertaining some startups in this area where they can really disrupt the market and connect the entire B2C portion, which we felt is missing. And we feel today, it's a consumer healthcare. It's not just healthcare now. It's actually the consumer has become so much aware about healthcare that wellness as an area is certainly going to outscale any other business model. Insurance within the healthcare is very exciting. So maybe any good companies, insurance tech, which we have not supported so far, but we are always looking at supporting such companies in the insurance space.
I can understand from your answer that a lot of disruption is happening within healthcare industry. Now, if we see the recent speech of, Piyush Goyal, Mr. Piyush Goyal, he talked about D2C startups, how investors are going crazy behind them. And then there are disruptions that you are investing in. I want to understand from you, what is the trend among investors? Are they really open to invest in, serious innovations that are capable of taking India on a global forum? So what investors think about?
Absolutely. So I think if you look at the deep tech ecosystem in India, I think it's still a very infancy stage. So there are about 20-30 funds which actually are looking at deep tech investment, and as opposed to maybe 1,000 funds in total which are registered with SEBI. Now, if you look at, it's just 2% which is committed to deep tech, right? 98% has been committed to various conventional and traditional methods of solving problems through technology. And I think to be fair, these are big problems to be solved, like food delivery is a big problem like that Zomato has been able to solve. Now, I think if we were to become resilient and if we were to become Atmanirbhar, I think a lot of deep tech investment have to go in. And government is doing a wonderful job by way of fund of funds. SIDBI is doing a wonderful job. And I think BIORx as an institution is putting in a lot of money in pushing the agenda of biotech. But it's very difficult to develop a product in deep tech because it goes through so many milestones and so many uncertainties that like if you invest in 100 companies in deep tech, only 1 or 2 will actually make a killing. And I think that's what is like finding a needle in the haystack. And but we definitely feel that what it was probably a scenario 20 years ago, 10 years ago, where we are today, I think we are at very I would say much better position. And we feel that this is a good time to start a deep tech startup in India as opposed to it was 10 years ago. While there's a lot to be done, and initially the focus was to solve real big problems through technology, which I think India has been able to achieve. Like whether it's a Paytm or whether it's MobiKwik or anybody. But I think it's now time to really solve problems through technology, deep technology, and recognize us as a product nation, not as a service nation.
Before I really end up this conversation, I would want to know from you some, advice for the startups out there who are, just in the initial stage. What, according to you, is the most important thing for an early startup? IP, like having a strong IP, regulatory clarity, or market validation? What?
I think these are all very critical points. Because if you are using money to expand your product range or to develop a product, and if you don't have a regulatory understanding, then somewhere you will get stuck. So whatever money has been used, I think if you don't see the light of the day, then definitely there's no return for, even forget about investor, there's no return for the founder. And I think that one must have it, regulatory clarity, especially in the sectors like biotech and healthcare where I come from. If you don't have regulatory strategy and you cannot think that let me develop a product and let me reach a TRL 6 and then I think about, what regulatory hurdles that I need to figure it out and then I will figure it out. I think that very reactive approach is not something that we would expect a deep tech startup to look at, right? We would like them to look at all these dimensions much early on, rather than saying that I will reach TRL 7 and then I look at it. I think that's something which is probably not going to really work for the founder, not for the funder.
How can a startup reach out to you for, funding or for guidance or mentorship?
Super. So I'm available on LinkedIn, and so for me, LinkedIn is the best resource. For anybody wanting to reach out to me, just type my name, Dr. Vishal Gandhi, BIORx. You will hit my profile and connect with me. And I'll be very, very happy to support any startup through my whatever way I can, because I think money is one part, but I think there's a lot of mentorship which is required to turn ideas into execution. And at the end of the day, I want to finish this saying that it's not the idea that matters, it's execution that matters. And that's what we all are striving. And I think ecosystem is going to enable that execution. So please be open to ecosystem. Don't keep thinking that as a founder, I'm going to do everything. It's not going to unlock the value, and that's the bottom line message I want to give it to everybody, to your all audience today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gandhi, for your insights. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much.